Ready to rock?
I am ready to rock. Are you?
Let's rock. Welcome to the OutRun Us podcast. I am your host, Taylor Rockwell. With me, I have my lovely, beautiful, amazing 100 miler star, one of a kind co host, Kitija Strawberries.
Hello, hello. My name is Kitija Strawberry.
And
And
you can call me.
you can call me Kitija or Strawberries.
We are completely out seasoned because we have been away for a minute, but that's because we had a lot of adventure, so therefore we have a lot of stories and a lot of insight to share. First and foremost, Katia came to the United States. We ran the 100 miler, we lived, we laughed, we loved, and then she went on a whole world tour. Where did you go, Katia?
So I came back home to England. I had a week to get my life together, and which I didn't, by the way. And then I went home to my hometown in Latvia, where I spent from Thursday to Monday. So I don't know how many days. And then I went to Ireland for the first time. I had never been in Ireland, and I went there for like 5 days as well. And then I came back home to England and trying to get my life together 2.0. And I
Yeah,
think this time I actually got it together somewhat.
Yeah, so essentially, she's been busy and traveling the world, but in this time that she was gone, she did not disappoint. So, Katia ran the 100 milers with me at the beginning of May, and we ran it around Lady Bird Lake, 10 loops, and we did it, I don't remember how long, but it was like 30, high 30s. Do you remember exactly?
I think it was 39 hours something. I don't remember exactly the minutes.
Yeah. And then so Katia goes to Latvia and she says, I want to attempt it again, but I want to do it under 24 hours. So you went to a whole different country just to run in that country for 24 hours straight. How was the experience? Tell me about it.
Okay, well, I will start from the very beginning, I guess. The reason why I ran there was because I knew I would be running through the night, and then it's probably one of the safest place because I was running, disclaimer, I was running on my own, so I needed to make sure that I'm safe and I'm able to do it on my own. So that's why I chose my home city. If there were like maybe few people on the street during the night, and I knew I'm going to be running through the night, and also the night was really really short. I think I had a dog only for like 3 hours total, so that is the reason why I chose to run it there. And just going a little bit ahead of why I wanted to try to run it under 24 hours was because the first time we ran it, I had this expectation that I would suffer. And if you have listened to the episode before, I think it was episode 13 where we spoke about our experience running 100 miles. I didn't get to the point where I was like actually suffering, and I still wanted to get to the point. So I thought, what if I tried to run it in a different time, faster time? So I did. And spoiler alert, I did suffer. I suffer. I don't think I have ever suffered as much as I suffered then. And I guess I just got what I wanted to get from the whole experience. I'm still here. I'm still fine. I ran the next day. So I guess, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe I need to try and run it faster at some point again. We will see.
I I think Well, okay. I have a lot to say. Let me organize my thoughts correctly. First and foremost, I feel like we need to acknowledge how impressive and like commendable it is that you ran 100 miles by yourself. And I know it probably just seems like, oh, Katia's always running by herself. Like she's always just, doing crazy things. Like it's almost expected. But take a moment out of that expectation of her and really think about what it means to run 100 miles alone. When people run a marathon, they have so many people volunteering coming out to support runners run 26 miles. They're on the course every 3 miles, handing people water, electrolytes. And that's just a marathon. Even coming into an ultra marathon world, there are aid stations every 5 to 6 miles, depending on the race, of course. In addition to that, there's water and fuel stations in between those big aid stations. A lot of the time, people have pacers with them. Pacers allow them to help guide and know how much further to go. Just be a companion, hold additional gear, make sure the person's eating, make sure the person's drinking. So, not only is she taking on the responsibility of the physical labor it endures to run 100 miles, she's also taking on the additional responsibility to have the mental capacity. Is she eating enough? Does she have enough sodium? Does she balance it out with enough water? Is she being mindful of how her body feels? What does she actually need? What is just pain that she can run through? What is actually concerning? Is her safety okay? How long does she need to go? When does she need to make the call and essentially discuss it with nobody? When to go back to her aid stations? When does she need to leave? She had a goal of 24 hours. It was all 100% on her to execute this fully. So I feel like really think about what it means to run 100 miles in 24 hours. And to put it in perspective, not to compare tomatoes, but me, I just helped Bryson run the 100 miler last month around Lady Bird Lake. He attempted the same journey Kitija and I did. He had probably 30 pacers that came out at some point. He had a crew of at least four, maybe more, that were just solely responsible for watching his nutrition, making sure he was drinking enough, eating enough, his salt was okay. It was really well calculated. They were meeting him every 5 miles, they were checking in on him, they were essentially making sure that they could do everything they could to help him achieve the 24-hour goal that he had in mind. And even with all of that additional like support, not to talk bad about Bryson, he's still so impressive. He still did not make the goal of 24 hours. And so he had all this support. So proud of Bryson. I'm not talking bad about Bryson. I'm just trying to share and compare how impressive it is to run it in 24 hours, especially unsupported. So first and foremost, I just want to like talk about that. And then in addition to that, how was that experience? Like, tell me, was it draining emotionally? Do you feel like you struggled more this time because you didn't have companionship, because you really did need to take on the mental fatigue of like eating enough, drinking enough? You had all the free will to make every decision. How was that experience?
Well, give it take 5 minutes to make me cry.
Episode, we're back and we're crying.
Oh, wow. Now that you put it like that, it's just I feel like because okay, I want to thank you. I really, really want to thank you for what you just said because for me, I don't see it that way. I don't know because I always find it very hard to see my accomplishments the way I would see your accomplishments, right? So when you say all those things, I'm like, damn, I actually did do that. Like I actually did do that and I did it on my own and I took all those things upon myself and I did it. You know, I don't think my mind can actually like comprehend that until like you just put it all down in perspective. And it was, well, I don't know if I can say I fully ran it on my own because I did speak to you, Bryson, Season C on the phone for like 2, 3 hours total, I think.
2 hours out of the
uh,
24 hours we yapped your ear off. You did it on your own.
and then also my niece, she cycled with me for like 3 miles. So technically, yes, I did run it fully on my own. I had no like any of, the support that you just mentioned. But also, I just want to say that I'm very grateful for you making sure that you called me and you stayed on the phone like for a really, really long time with me and everyone else, Bryson, Season, C, that popped in the call and just had a conversation with me. I really appreciate it. Going back to like how it all was, I don't the only way I can explain it, it's probably the hardest thing I have done in my entire life. I don't think I have ever been in so much pain that I was from probably 58 miles till the end of it. And I also don't think my mind understands that I did it. The only way, like, I just need to look back at the photos and videos and I'm like, did I actually do it? Like, because also, like, when I say the town is like really safe, it's also really, really small. I could run through the whole town in 10 miles. And I was just trying to stay around the flat that I was staying just to make sure that I have the food accessible and everything. And I don't know, I went into it kind of like I thought I could try and finish in 24 hours, but also I said to you, what if like I finish a bit sooner, delusional of me? Um, should I go to 24 hours or like, I was just asking your opinion and everything. And then I remember that I think I got to like halfway. It was like 50 miles and I finished it in like 10 hours, I think. And then I took a really, 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 really long break because I was already like in quite a lot of pain. So I thought, where am I rushing if I'm kind of like planning to do it in 24 hours? So I'm kind of like ahead of the time. So I gave myself a little bit more time. I think I stayed in a flat for like an hour. I would have to look at the Strava data because I never paused my watch or anything like that. I just kept it running. And I gave myself like a really long break and to stretch and put my feet up and charge my phone and all those things. Because again, I was on my own. So I had to make sure that my phone is charged and everything. Yeah, and I think after 50 miles, it all started just going downhill really badly. It wasn't so much as to that I was running on my own. I think it was just the physical pain because, as you said, like I run a lot on my own, which is true. Like most of the time, like 95% of my whole running journey for the last 3.5 years, it's me running on my own. That's why the previous 100 miles that we did together, I was like, oh my God, this is fun. Like everyone's around, you have company and all that. Like it's new for me because I'm used to running on my own. And now I have all these people around me. Versus now, obviously, I didn't have the people around me. But I'm kind of like, I'm fine with that. But I had so much pain. My legs were like, I actually don't even know how I did it because the pain I experienced is insane. Because also the difference between running the first 100 miles with you, we ran it on a trail. This time I was running on concrete. So, and that's a big difference. I did try to run on the beach to make it like a lot softer and everything, but it still hurt me really, really bad. I did get to many points where I didn't want to go, and I cried and I walked, and I think at total I walked maybe like 4 or 5 miles. And then, yeah, I cried a lot. But it was just like, but that's where I wanted. That's where I wanted. I wanted to get to the point where I'm breaking down really, really bad and I still keep going. I remember, I think it was like 70. It was when my niece left. I think it was like 80, 81 miles actually, because she joined me at 77 miles till 80. She left and then I ran, and then it started raining really, really bad. And I was just so tired and I was in so much pain. And I sat down by the beach and I was like, I just don't know if I can keep going. And I think, if I had somebody around me at the time to just say, like, oh, you got this, or like just giving a hug or something like that, it would give like that extra energy, which I didn't have at the time. And I think also you were sleeping at the time or whatever. It was just like I was in a shit on my own. Let's just say that. And yeah, I just said to myself, this is what you wanted, this is why you're here, and this is what you strived for, and this is why you decided to run the 100 miles again. And I think I just needed that is like the biggest lesson I learned from the whole run was that I just had to accept that I'm in pain and I will be in pain until I finish because there was no way I'm not going to finish it. I was like, no matter what the time will be, but I'm still going to get to 100 miles because that's the promise I made myself. And then I just had to accept that I'm in pain. It's going to be hard till the very end, that I don't have anyone to come out and just say, you got this. I'm going to have to do it on my own. That's because I chose to do it on my own at the end of the day. But yeah, I think it's the most beautiful and hardest and worst and all the bad things and the good things experience I have had. And I'm actually very, very proud of myself that I have the willingness to keep going and just keeping the promise to myself. And also, when I was in Ireland, I met my cousin. It's just kind of like on the side. He asked me a lot about running, and I said that one of the reasons why I run is that sometimes I just need this like confidence boost in a way that I kind of, yes, I can do hard things, and it doesn't have to be 100 miles. It can be whatever it's hard for you. And I said that I just feel like I needed a little bit of confidence boost to say like, yeah, you got this. Like, no matter what you want, you can achieve in life. Maybe I should have gone with the maybe less miles, but I guess me being me, I was like, let's run 100 miles and see if we can run it in 24 hours.
No, that's what I wanted to ask you next was about your why, because I know you had mentioned that you're feeling stagnant. You kind of felt like you needed some type of growth or evolution. I don't want to speak too much on your behalf, so can you share kind of a little bit about why and what your experience was? Did you get what you wanted out of it?
Yes, so this is kind of the reason I also wanted to do the 100 miles with you. Like, I just wanted to experience that hardship and experience like how it is that you keep going when you don't want to keep going, right? And I think when you do hard things, you just kind of like it changes you. And well, I think it's for me. I think like I would get to the points eventually, and anyways, but I feel like doing extremely hard things, you just get there quicker. And I feel like every single time I do a hard thing, whatever it was at the time before, like doing half marathon, I felt like literally you can't tell me anything. Like, what do you mean? I just went through that and like nobody can touch me. Like I'm on the cloud. And that was like when we were running the 100 miles the first time. I think I just didn't get to the point where I had to kind of like suffer and go really deep in myself and like find the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. So that's why I kind of like made a new challenge to myself and be like, I want to get to the point where I'm breaking down. I want to get to the point where I can't and I still keep going, because recently I just have these goals and these kind of like visions of myself and these dreams that I want to be this and I want to do this and I want to achieve these things. But I always kind of like think like, not that I'm not deserving, but I feel like I can't achieve them, because who am I to think that like, oh, I can do this and I can be this or whatever. And I feel like once, because a lot of things that I want in life, they require a lot of work. And I know it's going to be really hard. And I know I'm going to get to the point where I don't want to keep going. I think me putting myself through these 100 miles where I had a lot of points where I didn't want to keep going and I still kept going and I still saw it through, is just kind of like a reassurance that in real life as well, when I go through things and it's hard, I know I can keep going because I kept myself the promise and I said that I'm going to do it. I know it's going to be hard, but I accept it and I still move forward. So yeah, that was my goal, to just, yeah, kind of like a confidence boost that I can do hard things and I can see them through. And that's okay if I don't have a bunch of people behind me. I got my back as well.
That's really beautifully said. And in addition to that, I know you said that Latvia was really safe, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're still just a little 5 foot girl running around the town, like a crazy person. I often get messages from girls being like, how do you run at night? How do you not feel scared? How do you run alone? Some people have anxiety just running alone, even if it's daytime and just being a girl. And I'm sure like even guys can relate to some level like of uncomfortability at any point. And I think you said it really well that like how you show up in your miles is really a direct indication of how you show up in your life. Like not always is it going to feel perfect, or is it going to feel safe, or is it going to feel comfortable. Can you kind of speak more on like the lessons that you learned being alone? At any point, did you feel scared? Did you feel like you wish somebody was there? Were you thankful to be alone? And then, in addition to that, like, what advice would you have for like anybody? But I think more for like the girls who feel scared running alone. So perhaps like that would be something that would deter them from wanting to attempt something like this on their own. Because I know for me, when we ran the 100 miles, that's my biggest concern. I go, what happens when the sun falls? We need to have people with us. But then, I didn't have that same concern when the sun was up. So even I still considered that. So can you talk about your experience, please?
I think the first this reminds me. Remember when we were on the phone, me, you, and Bryson, and I was saying to you something about, oh, there's like a bunch of people or something like that. And Bryson was like, do you have a weapon on you? I was like, have you met me? I'm the weapon, like joking around. But like, I think I can only keep myself as safe as I can. I did avoid, I mean, there wasn't a lot of people out in general, like the real one I didn't see, but if I did see some people, I would just turn around and go away. Like I wouldn't go through a bunch of people just because I know it's a really safe town, but still, like there's no need for it, right? And then I did take self-defense classes. I don't know how much they would help if something would happen, but I also just, well, I would never run in the dark in the UK through the night for sure. Also, I started running in the evening just to make sure that I'm very fresh, sort of fresh through the night. Same as we did when we ran together. We started in the evening, so we would kind of like be awake through the night. I think it's just building the confidence to be on your own a lot more. Not essentially like being through the night alone, but like just in general being on. Like I have been on my own, like traveled and been places on my own for the past like 2.5 years, and I just build the confidence in myself to like I'm always watching my back. Like I didn't at no point I listened to music at all. Like even through the day I never had music on, just to make some sort of like choices that would help you stay safe. I ran through very light up roads, as I said, did not have any headphones in or anything like that, just to being aware about your surroundings. I do not suggest anyone to run through the night in unsafe places at all. Like that's why I'm saying like that's the reason why I ran it there, because there's like a bunch of people and that's it. There's not like nothing happens. And if at any point I would feel unsafe, I would just cut it and I would be like, it's not worth my safety.
Mhm.
That was never even on consideration, that like if I did not feel safe, that like I would just keep going. Like that's a silly thing to do. Like I would never do that. And if I felt like at any point like, oh my god, this is not working, I feel unsafe, I would just go home and be like, it didn't work, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if wherever you live, if you have availability to carry another pepper spray or things like that, maybe do that if it makes you feel safer. But yeah, I think it's just like, I think within yourself, like if something happened, I would not stop on anything to protect myself.
Mhm.
That's how I feel. Like there's nothing I wouldn't do to make sure that I'm safe. And if you don't have that in you, then maybe yeah, I would not go out on the street running in the dark or in the evening or anything, because you never know what's there outside. And then going to the point where you asked if I wanted to have anyone with me, I think there were points that I wish I did have somebody with me, just to again like say you got it and it's okay. But I also feel like I wanted it to be hard. I
Mhm.
actually I This is so bad. This sounds so bad when you think about it, but I wanted to suffer. I wanted to be so hard that I'm like, I literally said, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am I even doing this? And just then remember all the reasons why I'm doing these things. And just like, honestly, now I feel like, how is anyone gonna say or do anything to me? How are you gonna tell me I can't do something in my life? Like, I went through hell and back like so many times. I don't even like, honestly, from probably 57, 58, that's when I started walking. I was suffering every single step. I don't I wish I could have in a way at some moments maybe had somebody like with you. I would just like just have the experience together. But I also feel like I'm glad I didn't. And I'm glad I was able to go through that on my own.
And I feel like it's just you and your footsteps. It creates this rhythm or this hum that's almost like creating like a frequency of just like harmony. And the harmony isn't necessarily always peaceful. Sometimes it is like disturbing because it brings up like the things that maybe you've been avoiding, but it feels like such a safe space to address those things. Did you feel like you came out as a different person? Did you learn a certain lesson? Like, if there, is there one thing that sticks out to you that says, like, when I ran this 100 miles, like, this is what I learned. This is what I took away from that experience.
Oh, I can do very hard things for sure. I guess. I think biggest thing is that, but I knew that before. No matter what, I'm always gonna find a way how to keep going, one step at a time. I try not to look too forward. Like, sometimes people ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know where I see myself in 6 months. So like it's the same with running. Like, oh, what do you think about 80 miles? I don't know. I'm on mile 58. All I know is just pull one step forward, and that's all I got right now. I don't know what's gonna happen at 80 miles or 100 miles.
Yeah.
I think that's like taking step by step, because I feel like sometimes we just get so focused on goals ahead, so focused on like, oh, what's going to happen in a year and 2 years and 5 years, which is fine. Like you can plan for it. And I think everyone should. But I feel like we so focus on that we forget to be here right now, like where your feet is at, and just enjoy the process of doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then the other thing I learned, that accepting, which I mentioned before, just ac- like when you do something like really hard, maybe it will help you in Moab as well. But like instead of like thinking I'm in so much pain, I don't know how I can keep going, just kind of like accepting that that's where you are right now, that you
Yeah.
are in pain, instead of like focusing on the pain at the time. I don't know if I can explain it, but just being, okay, I'm in this pain right now, and it's probably going to be like this until the very end. And just trying to focus on something else instead of the pain. Instead of like just thinking about the pain, just focus on like, I'm here and I'm experiencing this amazing thing, instead of giving the energy to the pain, if that makes sense. Or
No, that's
like,
that's really well said.
and also like accepting that, like, I just accepted I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be in pain. I'm probably going to be hungry at some point. I'm probably going to be thirsty at some point. I'm probably going to want to stop at some point, and just saying, like, yes, these things will happen, and accept that they will happen, instead of like being scared of those things of happening.
Yeah, one
So,
time Bryson gave me similar advice. He just said like when you get out there and it starts to hurt, it's kind of like welcome. Like we're finally
mm,
arriving. Like what do you mean? You knew it was gonna hurt. You know that it's gonna hurt
mm,
and it's gonna continue to hurt. So like when you're there, it's just kind of like welcome. Like don't fight it. Don't try to like avoid it. It's just kind of like that's where we were going. Like that's
exactly.
where we wanted to be. Like and now we're here. So welcome it and
And
like embrace it.
And also, like, not to like say for anything, like, once you start hurting, you are gonna be hurting till the end of it. So you might as well just be like, okay, this is what is happening right now, and that's it. Like, there, obviously, you could sleep and you could try and get your legs back, but like, it probably not gonna get much better until it's finished. Right.
Yeah.
So you're just like, what's the point of you focusing on all the pain? Obviously, if it's like really bad and you need stretching, you need like, I don't know, some support, or there's like injury and things like that, you can work on those things. But like, I feel like a lot of people just like, oh, it's really, really painful. And all they think about is the pain. Just think, I don't know, think about what you're going to have at the next aid station, what food you're going to have. Like, just kind of like direct the thoughts somewhere else.
Yes, and also I just want to make a disclaimer. When we say pain, we mean like extreme fatigue. We don't mean like going towards like an actual injury, like a strain of a muscle, or like if something is like actually wrong and like preventing you. We don't mean working past that. We mean working
Mm.
past extreme fatigue. And I just want to like really make that distinction clear for anybody who isn't going towards like a big miles. There's like a difference between pushing past the mental fatigue and the physical fatigue rather than like you break your foot and now you're like that's a whole other, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, that's why I always say, like, if there is any possibility of injury, then I wouldn't go. Like, it's not worth it. And this is what you learn when you go out and do those things. It's like there is pain as fatigue pain, your muscles are tired, and then there is pain when it's like an injury pain. And you
Hmm.
get to know your body, you know? And if I
Yeah.
ever had like a possibility of injury, I would be like, it's not worth it to go out for months just to, like, for what, really? Like, I rather heal and then go out again and try to achieve what I wanted to achieve than hurt my body so bad that, like, it would probably cause me months, and I would probably go insane if I couldn't run for months.
Yeah, it's not worth it at the end of the day. And nonetheless, I'm proud of you. Like, I'm proud of you, and the OutRun Us community is proud of you. And I know you have your own community that you have online. They're all proud of you. So I can speak on behalf of all of us. But,
Thank
like,
you.
nonetheless, it's really impressive. It's really cool. I just think it's like one of those things where you're leveling up, and like, I'm just excited to watch you continue to like grow and evolve, whatever that looks like.
Same.
Mhm. So,
We should do a backyard together.
you're the last person I want to be competing in a backyard against. I'll tell you that right now.
Why? That would be so much fun.
I know that if I was in a backyard with Kitija, that I'd be like, yeah, I'm cooked. I'm cooked. I would be competing with like a whole new pain level like a threshold pain level. It's insane.
That's
Um,
amazing.
what
Isn't
we
that what
should do instead is do some miles in Moab and call it a
Okay.
day. Because Moab is in 97 days, which means we have 2 minutes to collect our thoughts and then only 5 minutes to prep, and then it's go time. I know that you're doing an extreme amount of training, including 100 miles, just to be able to pace this thing. You are my Moab manager, my momager, really. You're the one that's getting all my pacers, all my food, all the details, literally everything up to perfection to make this all execute and happen. How are you feeling just as like the manager side of things?
I'm excited. I like to plan things. I'm excited. I feel okay, not to like it's a big job, right? It's
Mhm.
like I just want to make sure that I tick all the ticks and put all the dots on the I's, and I just want to make sure that you have everything you need, ensure that you can have the best experience. So I feel like it's like a lot of pressure on me, but also like I love that. Like I want my butt to be kicked. Like I need that. And I feel like I strive of it. And when else am I gonna have such an amazing experience to make sure that, like, I don't know. I think, like, I'm like I like to do I like to be a service in a way, and I like to take care of people. So me being able to like do these things with you, I wouldn't say for you. I think it's more with you instead of for you. Yeah, I'm excited. I
Mm.
think, and also like kind of like I have this whole training plan, and I'm so excited to do like to also push my own body, like to train for it. I think it's crazy. Like I don't whoever I have told that I'm gonna, support you in more 240, and I was like, oh my God, why would you do that? I'm like, why wouldn't you? I'm like, my eyes light up and I'm just so excited. And yeah, I think it's great. And I'm very, very grateful that you picked me to
I
do
couldn't
it.
think of a more perfect person to pick. That was an obvious choice. There was no, let me think about it. So grateful for you because, yeah, we have to break this down in a whole other episode, but like the
Mm.
costs that go into it, the prep from like when do you drink water? When do you drink salt? When do you drink food? When do you take a gel? Like, how do you transition between over 100 degrees scorching desert to really, really freezing cold desert? Like, it's gonna always be so many things that we have to handle all at once. You're also managing not just me, making sure I'm moving on the course. You're managing when are the pacers sleeping? Are they ready to go when it's their time to go? And like, when can the videographer and cameraman enter the course? Well, you have so much on your plate that I'm very thankful. So thank you. I think that's going to be a fun experience to share maybe in the next episodes. And we want to talk about a little bit the OutRun Us challenges. We know we didn't do one
Wait,
in June and July. Go on.
do you want to cover like your training and everything when in the next episode, or do you want to talk about it now a little bit?
Yeah, my training we could talk about in the next episode. I think that's fine. Ultimately, I'm in a little bit of a rehab. I fell almost 3 weeks ago. I was running up some stairs and I fall all the time. So that's not a shocker. But what was unique about this fall is I kind of like somersaulted into a pole and it kind of created a back injury that I've been trying to nurse back to 100. So it's kind of put a little bit of a pivot in my training, but nonetheless, we're still taking steps forward. But yeah, I could talk more in depth about how I've been training for this. I know everybody wants to know how do you train for something that big. So we could definitely talk about it more in the future. But I know this is just our first episode back, and I just want to say we missed you. We were busy, but we're back in full effect. We didn't have challenges in June and July, but we will be kicking up OutRun Us challenges again in September. And in October, I think we're going to do something fun in honor of Moab 240. Maybe we could do like a 240 miles in 1 month or some type of, if you want to attempt it with Taylor. I don't know. We're going to think of something fun, but I think we're going to change the October one to be Moab related. So if you guys want to think about what that means for you as a runner, just know October will be something 240 related. So, nonetheless, that's where we've been. That's where Kitija has gone 100 miles more in the distance. Also, she officially has passed 2,000 miles in 2026. So, that's a huge accomplishment to her. She's running. I know all of you guys listening have been running. Proud of everybody out there taking their best steps forward. And nonetheless, we look forward to getting back to schedule. See you guys in the next episodes. Oh, we need to say our gratitudes. I know. Is that what you're
I
going to say?
also got my cousin to start running. He's running. Just wanted to add that into. I went to Ireland and I was going to run. And I love that. I just want to share. Sometimes you don't even realize how you sharing your journey can impact others, because one evening we were just sat there talking about running, and then he was asking me a bunch of questions, and the next day he was like, I want to run 5K today, and then the next day he ran 10K, and then when I was leaving he was like, I'm never running and ever again. And then I left Ireland, and 2 days later he sent me a message that he has run another 10K, and apparently he's running quite a lot now. I think if anything, you just share your journey, and then maybe you're gonna inspire somebody else to take their best step forward.
Aw. Okay, before we go,
Can
what are
you?
you grateful for?
I am grateful for my little legs.
No.
No, I'm grateful for my little legs and my mind, and you for your support and always having my back and always just making sure that I'm okay. You called me all the time to just make sure I'm okay, and you message me, and you're just like the best person ever.
Oh.
And I love you.
Oh, I love you. Lilo says, what about me?
Lila, I love you too. You never want to talk to me, so I don't know. We are still in out a little bit, because remember you barked at me the other time. What are you
um,
grateful for?
Similar to you, I'm grateful for that my body does so much for me to recover. Like, you really don't realize or emphasize the I get to mentality until you don't get to anymore. Being able to run pain free is such a privilege, and having this additional thing that I have to consider and nurse and be mindful of. And literally, I've been living under red light. I'm under a red light right now as I'm recording this. I've been doing everything I can to heal this area. So yeah, just grateful for my body doing what it can. It really teaches you to be mindful, like hit the protein so you can recover, hit the creatine so that way, you have a better chances and more support to recover, do the stretches, sleep 8 hours so it has time to do what it needs to do. Like, you really it puts into perspective the food you put in your mouth, the supplements you put in your mouth, the things you put on your body, how much sleep you have. All of it matters, but sometimes I feel like it can be overlooked because it's just go, 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 go until you're almost forced to slow down, which is what I'm dealing with at this point. And everything that you do, everything that you eat is intentional. This experience is teaching me a lot of the importance of like, why wasn't I sitting under a red light every day before? Why did it take an injury for me to do this when even now, like, once I'm better, like I still need to be under a red light. So it's teaching me a lot, but I'm thankful for everything that my body does because I ask a lot of it and she always shows up and performs the way I need her to. So thankful for my little body. Well, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. We're happy to be back. We can't wait to continue to record and talk to you guys again. We have so much to share. So we will see you guys in the next episode. Follow us on Instagram at OutRun Us Challenges. Kitija is at Alter Ego Kitija. Kitija. I know you're wondering. And Taylor Rockwell is at Taylor_Rockwell.
Yeah,
Let's
and I
rock.
will put it in description.
No. All right.
All the things. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.